Was there a part of you that was upset with how things ended with WCW? Obviously, you guys had zero control over that.
Yeah.
But then you only had one match in WWE.
Yeah, well, I think the question would be, am I upset about the WWE? And at the time, it was the WWF. So, how it broke. Absolutely, I am. To answer your question, That's in the depression part of drinking. I mean, that's in there with the rest of it. I mean, you throw it in a big pile and you set it on fire. That's in there. And it's like, it was so depressing to me. And the only thing that saved me from getting worse or being a lot more depressed was at least the fans knew I got screwed. The fans know and still know that Buff Bagwell got gypped, man. They know that. And without that, I would be like completely depressed. But they know that as my only savior at all. But man, I did get gypped, man. I mean, I was Buff Bagwell, bro. And I got fired in Atlanta, Georgia. And, I think a lot of guys may have the same story, but I can tell you they don't have this one. To my knowledge, I'm the only wrestler, and I've been told this by a lot of guys that know the business a lot, I'm the only wrestler in the history of time to be main event one week and fired the next. I mean, where do you sign up for that? I mean, Buff Bagwell was main event with Booker T.
Yeah.
And they fired me in Atlanta, Georgia the next week.
Why wouldn't they have you and Booker T
in Atlanta?
WCW's, main city. Yeah.
Every podcast I did after that was like, guys, think about it. They put us in.
You were in Seattle, Tacoma.
Tacoma,
yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Tacoma, Washington, and the next week was Atlanta. Now you're Vince McMahon. Are you gonna put us in Tacoma? Or are you gonna wait 7 days and put Booker T and Buff Bagwell in Atlanta, Georgia?
Like you did that.
And they're calling it the invasion.
Yeah.
What are we invading out there? Alaska? We're invading
Canada.
Yeah, right. We're invading Ted Turner in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
But no. So, and the little things I never told anybody, bro, like this. Right before my music's playing, okay? I can't remember why, but Booker went out first. Think about that. He had 2 belts.
Yeah.
And I went out second.
Yeah.
I've never seen that done before.
And it's funny when you watch the match back on YouTube.
Yeah.
It starts with Booker in the ring and just your entrance.
Right. It don't show his entrance.
No.
He may not have got music. And I don't know that part. I'm going to check on it though. But if you remember, my pyro was off the chart.
Yes.
But here's what I got told that nobody knows 10 seconds before you saw me come through the curtain. Out of nowhere, I mean like a ghost, Shane McMahon appears. And he goes, Mark. I go, yeah. He goes, you can't look into the cameras. My music's playing. And I went, what? He goes, you can't look in the cameras. I go, Shane, that's all I do. I said, I look in the cameras, I pose, and I wear a top hat. I said, that's my whole gig, bro. He said, you can't do it or you're fired. So the next time you watch it back, I want you to see a match. I want you to watch a match of Buff Bagwell anywhere in sight of the year before.
Yeah.
And then watch that match.
Yeah.
I don't look anywhere near that camera for the only time in 3 years. I come down, keep in mind, now that takes me completely out of Buff Bagwell's, out of my world. So I come out, I do the pyro, I do the posing, but then it's like, where's the camera? And I see it and I'm going, and I start talking to somebody over here. So you know, that camera, I'm right up in it, bro. Look at me.
Yeah.
I was out of my game right there. So they took my leg off right there, back there, that nobody even knows through the curtain before.
Wow.
So play it back and watch it. It's really weird that I never looked in the camera that night. I was told not to, I'd be fired.
Wow.
So, but nobody knows that, you know. That's the kind of stuff we were going through, you know.
Yeah.
Jim Ross called me on Wednesday that week before Atlanta and said, hey, man, we got big plans for you in Atlanta. So we want you to take off the house shows. That got to be my mother got me out of them.
Yeah, that's the story.
And it stuck, bro. He started a rumor that stuck. It stuck so much, I started saying, you know what, guys? Let's say that my mom did do it and she's lying to me. Do you fire Buff Bagwell over that? And they were like, no, you don't. And the Bad Max thing, I go, let's say it was the worst match ever. I go, how about the 5 years of never tripping, stumbling, or anything previous? I said, you don't fire somebody over a bag. You don't fire a Buff Bagwell over one match.
Yeah.
So the match and the mother stuck, bro.
Yeah.
It stuck to the point I was like, let's say she did it. You don't fire Buff Bagwell over that. You say, hey, Buff, tell your mother to leave us the hell alone. You don't fire me over that, over what another human does.
It's 20 years later. I
Yeah.
feel like that still must just hurt.
Do you realize what that 20 years is? It's about 20 million. I mean, without any exaggeration, it's 10. It's 10 million just joking around. So Jim Ross, in my book, and I hate to say it, played a part in that. I love Jim to death. He's one of my best friends in the WCW. So I don't know what happened with that. I just know I just did what everybody told me. Yeah. And Jim told me not to go to the shows. But out of that came, my mom did it.